Hey, warrior. The one who's tired of pretending everything's fine. Yeah, I'm speaking to the you that shows up for everyone else but falls apart alone. You keep promising yourself you'll do better next time. Stay calm. Set boundaries. Stay disciplined. Then it happens again. One trigger and you explode. One rejection and you spiral. One failure and you shrink. And each time you're left asking, why can't I control myself? Most people wake up and instantly hand their peace to the world. One message ruins their day. One person's opinion crushes their confidence. One failure kills their motivation. This is how the average person lives, like a puppet tugged by invisible strings they never question. But the Stoics, they lived differently. They trained their minds like warriors. To them, the real fight wasn't on the battlefield. It was within. Their enemy wasn't other people. It was their own uncontrolled fears, desires, and impulses. Epictetus, a slave who became a philosopher, taught that freedom isn't about changing the world, but mastering how you respond to it. If he was insulted, he didn't explode. If he lost something, he didn't collapse. Because he understood the one thing nobody could ever take, his mindset. And here is where your power starts. The reason your emotions own you is because nobody taught you how to stand guard at the gate of your mind. Nobody told you that staying calm in chaos is a skill. That silence when you want to scream is strength. That walking away when pride is triggered is victory. The Stoics did. And they left behind clear, brutal, practical wisdom for mastering yourself. Not in theory, but in real, everyday emotional situations. This isn't about sounding wise. It's not about cold philosophy or memorizing quotes. It's about becoming the kind of person who remains unshakable facing disrespect, betrayal, failure, and chaos. So, I need you to lock in right now. Shut off distractions. Open your mind and let's go deep. Because each of these 8 brutal Stoic truths will break apart a piece of your weakness and show you how to replace it with real power. Some might hurt, and that's exactly why they work. By the end, you'll have the exact mental tools to start moving through the world with Stoic dominance. The kind that doesn't shout, but is felt the moment you walk into a room. So before we begin, drop this affirmation in the comments. I refuse to be a slave to my emotions. Let's begin. Number 1. Train your emotions before they train you. Asterisk, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Marcus Aurelius asterisk. Most people believe their emotions are facts. They feel anger, so they lash out. They feel fear, so they avoid. They feel rejected, so they overthink, chase, or collapse. But Stoicism teaches this: your emotions are not instructions. They are signals. If you let them lead, they'll train you to be weak, reactive, unstable. But if you train them, you become untouchable. Imagine you're insulted. Your pride triggers. Heat rises in your chest. Your heart races. You want to fight back, argue, prove your worth. That's the emotion leading you like a dog on a leash. Now imagine stopping. You observe that heat. You name the emotion. You pause. You ask, asterisk, is this worthy of my energy? Asterisk, you walk away. You don't become passive. You become powerful. This is what Marcus Aurelius did when enemies attacked him. He didn't return insult for insult. He controlled his reaction because he knew the real victory wasn't outside, it was keeping his peace inside. Today, we're constantly exposed to triggers: social media comparison, disrespect, loss, rejection, daily stress. If you don't deliberately train your response, the world will train you to be miserable. Training your emotions means this: you pause before reacting. You observe before judging. You respond with purpose, not impulse. This doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you don't become what you feel. Start small. Next time someone disrespects you, don't respond immediately. Let silence do the talking. Let stillness be your reply. That silence will shake them more than anger ever could. Because real alpha energy isn't loud. It isn't aggressive. It's that quiet control when you could explode, but you choose not to. The modern world respects that, because deep down, everyone knows the strongest person in the room isn't the one making noise. It's the one holding power. Practice this daily. Your mind is like a muscle. Every time you override a negative emotion with logic and composure, you grow stronger. Eventually, nothing can shake you. The day you can say, "I felt it, but I didn't act on it," that's the day you've mastered yourself. Music. Number 2, don't react. Observe first, then choose power, ***. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Seneca ***. How many times have you destroyed your own peace over something you thought someone meant? How many times have you jumped to conclusions, created false stories in your head, and made emotional decisions you later regretted? This is where most people fail. Something happens, a message, a silence, a rejection, a look, and instantly the mind starts running, ***they're ignoring me. They don't respect me. I'm not good enough, ***, that emotional storm takes control. But the Stoics taught something brutally powerful: don't trust the first story your mind tells you. Instead, pause. Observe. Investigate. Seneca said most of our pain comes not from events, but from how we interpret them. Your suffering isn't always based in reality, it's often a product of your imagination. Let's break this down practically. Someone doesn't reply. You assume they're ignoring you. You spiral. You send another message. You lose dignity. A Stoic would pause and ask, ***, what do I really know? Maybe they're busy. Maybe it's not about me. Maybe I don't need to react right now, ***. You get criticized. Your first instinct is defense. The Stoic response is different, ***, is there truth in this? If yes, improve. If no, let it pass, ***, you don't need to fight every battle. Someone disrespects you publicly. Most people lash out. The wise man stays silent, not because he's weak, but because he knows reacting gives the other person power, and he refuses to hand it over. In every situation, you have two choices: react emotionally and regret it, or observe calmly and choose power. Modern society moves fast. Everyone's on edge. Everyone's triggered. Because of that, the person who learns to slow down internally gains the upper hand. This doesn't mean you become cold or detached. It means you become deliberate. Think of your mind like a courtroom. Emotions bring evidence, but you are the judge, not the prisoner. You don't have to believe every thought. You don't have to act on every feeling. You choose which deserve action. Train this habit. Whenever you feel heat rising, stop. Observe. Don't speak. Don't text. Don't react. Sit with the discomfort. Let it pass like a wave. Then, and only then, decide what to do. Once you stop reacting automatically, you stop giving your power away, and that's where true self-mastery begins. Number 3, cut the noise. Your mind is starving for stillness, ***. Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. Marcus Aurelius ***. You know why you're anxious all the time. It's not always your problems. It's because you never let your mind breathe. From the moment you wake, the noise starts: notifications, scrolling, opinions, music, ads, alerts, demands. By day's end, your mind is a battlefield, not because of what happened outside, but because of the chaos you allowed inside. Marcus Aurelius, an emperor leading a world in turmoil, found peace not in luxury or distraction, but in retreating into stillness. He'd journal quietly. He'd sit with his thoughts. He'd block out the noise, not because the world was calm, but because he chose to be. This is where Stoicism becomes more than words. It becomes a way to breathe in a world that never shuts up. Look around. Everyone's addicted to stimulation. Silence scares them. Stillness makes them uncomfortable. So they run to entertainment, gossip, mindless scrolling, anything to avoid themselves. But the Stoic runs the other way, into stillness, silence, reflection, because he knows clarity is born in quiet. If you want to master yourself, you need space to hear yourself. Here's how. 1. Create daily stillness, even 10 minutes. No phone, no sound. Just you and your thoughts. Sit. Breathe. Let the dust settle. 2. Start journaling, not fancy words, honest reflection. Asterisk, what did I do today? What triggered me? What did I avoid? Asterisk, Marcus Aurelius did this daily. His journal became Meditations, one of philosophy's greatest works. 3. Protect your mental space like a fortress. Be ruthless about what you consume. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to be available to everyone. Say no more. Unfollow noise. Your mind isn't a trash bin for the world's junk. It's a temple. And like any sacred place, it needs to be cleaned, maintained, protected. Stillness is where you meet yourself, where you face your fears, where you stop lying to yourself. It's not always comfortable, but it's always powerful. In that space, you realize you don't need more advice. You need more awareness. And awareness only comes when you turn down the volume on everything else. Don't fear silence. That's where transformation begins. Asterisk, drop this affirmation in the comments. I protect my peace. Silence is my strength. Asterisk. Number 4. Stop explaining yourself. Power doesn't chase understanding. Asterisk, asterisk. Asterisk, don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Epictetus. Asterisk. Most people are trapped in a silent addiction, the need to be understood. They explain their intentions. They justify their boundaries. They defend their silence. They over-explain their actions, just to feel validated. Not because they're wrong, but because they're afraid of how they'll be perceived. This is emotional slavery. When you constantly explain yourself, you give your power away. You invite people to judge you, dissect you, approve or disapprove. And you base your self-worth on their response. That's not strength. That's insecurity wearing a polite mask. Epictetus taught a higher way. Live your truth, but don't beg for acceptance. Speak through action. Let your character be so solid it doesn't require a defense, because the moment you start chasing understanding, you start walking away from yourself. Imagine a lion explaining to sheep why it hunts. Imagine a mountain apologizing for standing tall. They don't, because their existence alone justifies their power. So should yours. Here's what happens when you stop explaining. You stop being drained by people never meant to understand you. You start moving with quiet confidence instead of loud desperation. You begin to trust your decisions, even if others don't. But here's the part most won't tell you, this path is lonely. You will be misunderstood. People will misread your silence. They'll label your confidence as arrogance. They'll twist your distance into hostility. And you must learn to live with that, because self-mastery means choosing inner peace over public approval. Think, how many times have you watered yourself down to avoid being too much? How many times have you stayed silent, felt guilty, and started explaining just to keep others comfortable? That ends now. You owe the world authenticity, not explanations. The Stoics believe true strength is quiet, not because it hides, but because it no longer needs permission to exist. So let your silence do the talking. Let your results speak. Let your values become obvious without a single word. When people question you, don't flinch. Those who matter will understand without a paragraph. The rest, let them go. Your time is too valuable. Your energy too sacred. Your purpose too important to spend explaining things to those not ready to receive them. Walk forward. Speak less. Move with quiet fire. Music. Number 5. Let people go. Mastery means releasing dead weight. Asterisk, asterisk. Asterisk, he is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. Epictetus. Asterisk. People change. Connections fade. Some relationships die slowly, others are ripped away. Each time, there's that pain, that pull to hold on, to fix, to understand why someone walked away or stopped treating you the same. But here's a brutal Stoic truth: if something can leave your life, let it. Don't beg. Don't chase. Don't force. Let it go with dignity. Epictetus reminds us, you don't own people. You experience them. Some come into your life not to stay, but to teach you how strong you can be when they're gone. When we attach our identity to others, we lose ourselves. We become dependent on their validation, love, presence. And when they disappear, we feel empty, broken, lost. But that feeling isn't about them, it's about the pieces of ourselves we handed over without boundaries. Stoicism calls us back to ourselves. It teaches, what's meant for you can never be taken, and what can be taken was never truly yours. This doesn't mean you become cold. It means you become conscious. You love fully but not blindly. You give energy freely but not endlessly. And when the time comes, you release what no longer serves your growth, without bitterness, revenge, or clinging. Letting go isn't weakness. It's clarity. You don't need closure, you need discipline. You don't need answers, you need acceptance. You don't need them back, you need yourself whole, healed, focused, rising. The moment you stop grieving lost connections and start reclaiming lost pieces of yourself, everything changes. Let go of people who made you feel you had to shrink to be loved. Relationships where respect was one-sided. Friendships that died the moment you needed something real. And most of all, let go of the old you who tolerated it. Because self-mastery means choosing yourself, even when it hurts. So if someone's drifting, don't chase. Let the silence speak. If someone disrespects you, don't argue. Let your absence echo. If something leaves your life, let it go with strength, with peace, and with the deep knowing that nothing real ever leaves. Number 6, discipline is the real freedom. Build routines like a warrior, ****. No man is free who is not master of himself. Epictetus ***. Here's a painful truth: most people think freedom means doing whatever they want, whenever they want. Sleep late, eat what they crave, skip hard things, delay growth, and they call it freedom. But the Stoics knew the opposite. True freedom isn't in doing what you want, it's in being in control of your wants. Imagine waking early not because you have to, but because you've trained your mind to serve your goals. Imagine doing the difficult thing, the workout, the reading, the uncomfortable conversation, even when you don't feel like it. That's discipline. That's control. And that is freedom. Because the person who can't say no to impulses isn't free, they're a slave to laziness, emotion, distraction. The Stoics were warriors of the mind. Their daily routines weren't built on motivation, they were built on choice. Choice repeated becomes pattern. Pattern becomes identity. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire but still wrote in his journal every morning. He reflected, worked, held himself accountable. Why? Because no matter how powerful you are, you're nothing without structure. You say you want self-mastery. Prove it in your schedule. 1. Create a sacred morning ritual, not for show, for you. Wake up. Sit in silence. Read something that sharpens your mind. Move your body. Write your thoughts. Do it daily. 2. Build your day around values, not feelings. Most people wake and ask, what do I feel like doing? You ask, what must be done? Then do it with focus. 3. Track your behavior like a Stoic. Epictetus and Seneca believed in reflection. At day's end, ask, where did I waste time? When did I react emotionally? What can I improve tomorrow? Discipline is brutal at first. It doesn't reward you with comfort, it rewards you with confidence. You start to trust yourself because you no longer let laziness, fear, or distraction guide your day. You move with purpose. You choose discomfort now for strength later. And the world notices. People feel your focus. Your reputation changes. Your presence sharpens. You carry the energy of someone who doesn't fold when things get tough, Because you train for discomfort every day. Start small. Set one rule. Keep it. Wake at the same time. Stretch 10 minutes. Read one page. Clean your space. But do it every single day, not just when you feel like it. Discipline isn't about being hard on yourself. It's about building something inside that's stronger than your excuses. If you don't train yourself, life will do it for you, through failure, regret, and lost potential. And you don't want that. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I am not led by comfort. I choose discipline. Number 7. Master the art of detachment. Love without losing yourself. It is impossible that happiness and yearning for what is not present should ever be united. Epictetus. We all want connection, love, admiration, respect. That's natural. But here's what most get wrong: they tie their identity to those things. They don't just want it, they become dependent. And when it's taken, they fall apart. The Stoics warned against this attachment. Epictetus said anything external, relationships, money, status, approval, is beyond your control. The more you depend on it, the more power you give it over your peace. Detachment isn't about becoming cold. It's about becoming anchored. It means you can love someone fully and still survive if they leave. You can enjoy success deeply and still stand tall if it disappears. You feel, but you're not ruled by what you feel. Say you're deeply in love, that's beautiful. But if that love becomes your identity, if their mood controls yours, if their distance breaks you, if their attention defines your self-worth, then you're not loving. You're clinging. That's not mastery. That's dependence. The Stoic approach is different. You love fully. You give freely. But in the back of your mind, you whisper, this is a gift, not a guarantee, and because of that, you stay balanced. You remain rooted. How to practice detachment. 1. Remind yourself daily, nothing is permanent. Not relationships, emotions, or situations. Enjoy it, but don't need it. 2. Ask, what will I do if this is taken from me? If the answer is collapse, you've given it too much power. 3. Hold space, not control. Let people be who they are. Let situations unfold. Influence what you can. Release the rest. You'll find when you stop clinging, people respect you more. They feel your self-containment. You become harder to manipulate, harder to break, harder to emotionally enslave. That's what Stoic detachment gives you: freedom with love, not fear. Strength in connection, not anxiety. Number 8. Embrace voluntary hardship. Train in peace. Dominate in chaos. Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, and say to yourself the while, is this the condition that I feared? Seneca. Comfort is killing you, slowly, quietly, in ways you don't notice. The modern world is built to make life easier: fast food, entertainment on demand, distractions instantly. But here's the truth: the Stoics knew a soft life builds a soft mind. And when real difficulty hits, and it always does, you'll break if you've never practiced strength. Seneca believed in voluntary discomfort, not because he hated pleasure, but because he didn't want to become addicted to it. Once a month, he'd live as if he had nothing, eat little, sleep on the ground, wear rough clothes. He did this to train his spirit, so when real hardship came, he could laugh in its face. The goal isn't to suffer, it's to strip away fear. You fear going broke? Try living on less. You fear loneliness? Try silence. You fear being ignored? Embrace solitude. You fear judgment? Spend time away from praise. When you face fears deliberately, they shrink. How to apply this? 1. Once a week, deny yourself something easy. Don't order food, cook simple. Walk instead of drive. Turn your phone off for a day. Inconvenience yourself and watch your strength grow. 2. Set comfort boundaries. Sleep with less comfort. Sit in stillness. Delay gratification. Make it a habit to not get what you want, and be completely fine. 3. Use challenges as training, not punishment. Bad day. Good, more reps. Rejection. Good, sharpen your mind. Lost someone. Good, learn detachment. When life hits, say, I've been preparing for this. The Stoics weren't born unshakable, they trained for it. So can you. You don't build self-mastery avoiding pain. You build it by meeting pain with open eyes and saying, I am stronger than this. Here's the truth, you can't control everything that happens, but you can absolutely control how ready you are when it does. Drop this affirmation in the comments, I train in discomfort. Nothing can break me. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Seneca. You've just walked through 8 brutal truths. Not surface advice, not motivational fluff, real ancient Stoic tools forged in hardship, tested in history, and still powerful in today's chaotic world. You've learned to control emotions, move in silence, protect your peace, and let go of what weighs you down. You've seen how detachment, discipline, and discomfort shape you into something rare, a person who isn't just strong in appearance, but strong at the core. And the best part? This isn't reserved for emperors or philosophers. It's for you, right here, right now. You don't need a perfect past. You don't need daily motivation. You don't need permission. What you need is practice, repetition, awareness, and the courage to live differently, to step away from the world's noise and start building your inner fortress. Start small. Revisit one lesson daily. Journal your reactions. Sit with discomfort. Keep returning to this question, am I being ruled by emotion or guided by wisdom? That question alone will start to change everything. So if this message hits something inside you, don't just scroll. Let it move you to action, because wisdom without action is wasted. Like this video. Comment your thoughts. Share it with someone who needs to rise. Subscribe if you're serious about becoming someone the world can't shake. Now, take a deep breath. You're no longer just reacting. You're no longer explaining. You're no longer chasing comfort. You are mastering yourself, like a Stoic. Drop this final affirmation in the comments, I walk through this world with quiet strength.